Hi everyone. So this is just kind of an informational video about our Shakespeare unit. I just want to make sure everybody's on the same page, know where to find things like that. I am going to tell you I'm covering a lot of very specific things in Class Connect for our very first day. So if you happen to miss that day, it is imperative that you watch the recording for that session or you are going to be lost. So make sure to watch the recording. This video is just kind of make sure you know where things are located and kind of how we're going to flow for the next couple weeks. So with that, what I want to kind of give you a little overview of is that for Shakespeare, we are in about a 4-week unit. So week 6, week 7, week 8, and week 9. I will tell you this argumentative unit is after spring break, and that is an additional three weeks, and it is also associated with Shakespeare. So technically it's about a 7-week unit. So what I want to just preface by saying is that you are going to have a lot of resources to help you. You're going to have me, you're going to have the classroom, there's videos, there's modern text version, there's all kinds of things in the class that you are going to be able to go to if you need any type of help. So as scary as Shakespeare might be, I will tell you this play is hilarious. I laughed so hard at some of the sections and the videos that are in the classroom. It's really good, and I think you guys are really going to like it. So hopefully, fingers crossed that you all do. So with that, the very first question is, where do I find the reading, right? So in week 7, you have the option to find, we are actually not starting reading until week 7. Week 6, we're doing kind of talking about Shakespeare, England, the globe. We're talking about all the background stuff, right? The little bit of history that's involved. There's an assignment that we're going to do. But week 7 is where you're actually going to start reading. So that's where you're going to find the text. So there's 3 places you should be able to find the text. 1, there was a book mailed to you. Most of you should have it. If you don't, it's in the classroom. So you have Midsummer's Night's Dream in hopefully your hand. If you don't have it, here is a PDF version, and it's the full, exactly what would be in the book. The other thing that we have is the modern side-by-side version. So when I'm referencing in class, I most likely will use this version just because, and I'm going to pull it up really quick for you guys to look at, because on the left is the actual text, and then, which is on the left here, and then on the right is the translated version or the modern version of what we would say today, right? So for anyone who's having a hard time understanding what you're reading, you can just pop over here to the right and you can easily figure out what they're trying to say. So it's pretty easy to make that adjustment, all right? So I mostly will use this version because if I need to explain something, it's super easy for us to pop over and look at that, right? And you all are going to be on different page numbers in your book, etc. So when I'm referring to page numbers, so for the reading schedule, these are the page numbers I'm going to be referring to. And what I want to point out is 173 seems like a lot, but what I want you to look at is how short the page is. So this is page 1. That's all of page 1. That's page 2. So it's all very short, right? So those pages aren't technically that long, and they're really big, kind of the wording is large. So it's not, you're going to breeze through it very quickly. And it's much shorter than Romeo and Juliet. I will tell you that. It's a lot shorter than Romeo and Juliet. So that's where you can locate the text. So week 7 is where you're going to find it. Then the other thing that I want to point out is that every week we will have 1 assignment and 1 quiz. So except for week 6. Week 6 we'll just have 1 assignment, no quiz. Then week 7, 8, and 9, there will be 1 assignment and 1 quiz. So that's the extent of what you will be responsible for as far as your grades are concerned and what assignments we're doing. Point values are going to vary depending on the assignment that we're doing, just so you know. And then once we get to week 9, the end of week 9 is spring break. And then once we come back from spring break, we will start argumentative writing, right? So after that, what's going to happen is we are going to look at really quick the announcements. So every week, obviously, I'll have the announcements the same as I always do. This is one of those times where you really, really don't want to miss sessions. If you have to miss because you're sick, you have a doctor's appointment, whatever it may be, you are going to want to watch the recording. It's going to be really easy for you guys to get behind or lost if you're not coming to class. So it's going to be super important that you're coming. I will tell you that here is really important. We are not going to have time to read all of Midsummer Night's Dream in class because we just don't have enough time in the day to do it. So what that means is that you are going to be responsible for reading much of the story on your own or much of the play on your own. We are covering certain scenes and certain parts of the play, but we can't cover it all. So that's the biggest thing too, is that you guys are going to be really responsible for making sure you're keeping up with your reading and you're keeping on the schedule. So down at the very bottom, there is a suggested reading schedule. If you want to read it all in the first week, go for it. If you're one who likes to break it up a little bit more, that's okay too. This is a suggested reading schedule. So this is kind of where we are. And this is what I will follow, kind of what we're doing in live sessions, right? So in week 7, we're going to be focusing here. In week 8, we're going to be focusing here. Week 9, same thing. We're focusing on whatever the schedule says. Page numbers are broken up a little bit differently, and these page numbers are from this version, from that translated version that I was telling you about in week 7. So those page numbers reference this, right? That modern side-by-side version. So that's what I will be referencing most of the time, okay? Just so you're aware of that. And you'll notice in your schedule here, I give you catch-up days. So if you didn't get your reading done, you'll have a little bit of time to catch up if you need to. And at the end, I give you 2 extra days just in case you need a little bit more time catching up. And I will tell you on this Thursday in this Class Connect, we will be watching one of the last scenes of the play in Act 5. Just because it's hilarious and I died laughing. It's so funny. So we will be watching that. So, and then I also wanted to point out that you do have resources in the room to help you. So with that, if we look at the end of Act 1, right? So we have a little bit of information here, but if you go where the quiz and where all the quizzes are, so in the Act 1 quiz, the Act 2 quiz, the Act 3, 4, 5 quiz, there's extra information or extra things to help you, right? So there's an actual summary or analysis of Act 1, and it basically tells you everything that's happened in Act 1. So it's not going to give you, obviously, if we're looking for specific words or we're looking for quotes for something, it's not going to tell you that, but it's going to give you a general idea of what happened in Act 1. So you kind of just have an idea of what's happening. There are also videos or movies of the actual play. So this is what I want to make sure that you're very aware of, is most of this is word for word of the actual play. So that's a really good thing. However, some of the acts don't have the full play in them. So they're kind of cut off a little bit. So it might come in maybe like 2 pages into Act 1, the video does. So, but there are really important scenes that are in these videos. So as you are going through and you're done reading, if you want to watch them, you're more than welcome to do that. I will tell you, there are videos through every act. One sec. Sorry, I had to sneeze. There are videos in each act for you to refer back to, but I'm telling you, there are some things missing. So don't, like, if you want to go through and watch the video and have like something printed out or have your book open and you're reading as you're watching the video, I highly recommend it. But you're going to notice as you get to a point, you're going to be like, ooh, that's missing. It will pick back up a little bit later in the video or on the book or on the page or whatever you happen to be reading. Just know that if you're looking at the videos, the whole play is not there. So use it as a resource, use it to help you, but don't just plan to only watch the video because you're going to miss part of the play. So I just wanted to make sure that you're aware of that too. So that is in every week. So in week 8, same thing. If we go down to the quizzes, you have the Act 3 summary and analysis, you have the movies, and then you have the quiz below. So we are going to cover a lot of information in Class Connect that first day that you guys are with me. So just make sure that you are in class. If you're not in class, watch the recording. It's imperative. And I can't say that enough, that it's going to be super important that we are really, really like making sure we know where everything is, what the expectation is, and all of that good stuff. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I'd be happy to answer. Have a fantastic rest of your day.